Morning, everybody. My name is Emily. Welcome back to the homestead. As you can see, I've gotten the chick area ready. The brooder plate is on. They've got their water. And I am about to go to the post office to pick up meat birds. But we do have some bad news today as well. This is Gregory. I removed her from the stall because I walked in there this morning to open up the door for the chickens to go outside, and she was laying flat on the ground. She's standing up now, but she was laying flat on the ground. I thought she was dead. Thankfully, she's not dead, but I'm not sure what's wrong with her and if I'll be able to help her or not, but I will address that when we get back. So I just moved her out of the way so nobody bothered her and just gave her a little bit of food, and we will troubleshoot when we get back from the post office. Greg is kind of a troublemaker, but it's also one of my favorite chickens. So hopefully whatever it is, we can figure it out and help her. First things first, it is like 38 degrees outside this morning. So I have got the car heating up out here, ready to go. And so it's going to be nice and toasty inside my vehicle. And then we'll get them under that brooder plate. That should be nice and warmed up by the time I get back. They're very peepee. Well, let's get them back to the house and get them warm. We're back at the homestead, and the baby chicks have quieted down almost completely on the car ride. There was one chick that was making a lot of noise the whole way, but the rest of them all seemed to be good. And get them under that brooder plate as quick as possible to keep them happy. Can't tell if they're all alive yet because there's some on the bottom. Let's get them out. Sadly, there are 2 dead, and there's one, the last one that I took out, I don't think it's going to make it. So I expect there to be 3. I totally lost count. There were more than 26 alive, if I counted properly. So there were extra birds in there. And it looks like they probably substituted because Cornish cross are little yellow chicks, and some of them are yellow, some of them are yellow with like a gray spot on the top of their head, and some of them are brown. So it looks like I got substitutions, so I have no idea how these are going to grow. They may not all be done in the 8 to 10 week time frame. I think Murray McMurray has a policy that if you contact them and tell them, the chicks died within the first 24 hours of you receiving them, they'll do something, reimburse you or something. But we'll see. It did take longer than I think it should have for them to get here. They were at a post office facility an hour and a half or so south of us yesterday morning, and then I got a notification that they were at a post office an hour and a half north of us. So it's 3 hours difference. They passed us. Still in the morning. It was like 11:45 when that notification was done. So honestly, I could have picked them up from either of those locations, but I don't know if that would have made a difference in these birds that died or not. But they're all under the brooder. They're starting to quiet down. And so that is a good thing. I'm going to get their food in here now. This is the one that I don't think is going to make it. Yeah, there's something wrong with her leg, it looks like. Here, I'll just go back under there. Oh, little thing. Let's get you back under the heat at least. Now they've got their food, their water, their chick grit, and their brooder. They're still making a little more noise than I would like. So I did move the brooder plate down a little bit. I had it higher in the front than in the back. So I moved it down a little bit. I will check on them in a few minutes, and if they're still making kind of a lot of noise, I might lower it a little more. Just with all the pine shavings, I wanted to make sure that they had enough room to get in and out okay. But I think that they have more than enough room to do that, so I'll probably come and lower that in a little bit if they're still making noise after I take care of the big chickens. We did agree to the free unsexed random chicken in the box this time. That's given as an option every time you order from Murray McMurray, I believe. And I assume that it's usually a rooster, because the one we got with the laying hens was a rooster. But it looks like one of the chicks that died was probably the mystery chicken, because it was completely different coloring than all of them. So, not that that's good. Like, we don't need another rooster, so it's good in that sense, but it's not good because it's a dead baby. That's sad. Speaking of sad, we got Greg over here, still standing in the exact same spot that I left her. She's still standing, so that's good. She's looking around, moving her head around, but she's just still just standing there. Hasn't eaten any of the food that I gave her. But let me get the big chickens fed. And yeah, I'm probably going to hang out here in the barn for a while because there's still chickens getting out. I think they're just phasing through the walls at this point because I have no clue how they're doing it. So I want to kind of hang out and watch them and see if I can figure out how they're getting out. There's one already over there laying an egg in the wood stall. But there's probably 5 or 6 of them that can possibly still get out. That, you know, we found yesterday that were out. And I did a couple things to shore things up yesterday. And there's a chicken being weird over there. And then there were still 2 out at bedtime. So that stinks. So I may end up having to put something over the brooding area to protect them from the big chickens. I just hope that they leave them alone. Stay in there. There's plenty. And they got their feeder over there too. Nice try, Goldie. Locks. No, Goldine. Nice try, Goldine. Okay, I need to put some pine shavings in there. This is one of the chickens that is an escape artist. So I'm hoping she's going to show me how she's getting out, because that would be helpful. Go ahead, ma'am. Show me how you do it. Well, I still need to get water for the big chickens, which their water is outside now because the thing that we use to keep the water from freezing broke. Thankfully, there's only been one night since that broke that the water has actually frozen. We've got a big rubber bowl out there to put the water in, and I think it's got enough mass that it's not freezing, thankfully. There's only just been one day that it's been an ice cube. She gave up for now, but I really want her to show me how she's getting out, because the other leghorn already got out. Anyway, the baby chicks are still making quite a bit of noise over here, so I am going to go ahead and lower the brooder plate just a bit. Okay, let's see. That is not a Cornish cross chick. You gonna eat, little buddy? No. Okay, that one. Where's my finger? That one is a Cornish cross chick. This one. No, not that one. Yep, this is a Cornish cross chick, and that is not. And that is not. So I don't know what other breed I got. And then there's one with a black dot on the top of its head. So that might be a different one as well. Hope there are at least meat birds. It is later on in the day, and I'm out here in the garage bathroom. I've got a crate set up for Greg with some water that's got electrolytes and vitamins and apple cider vinegar. And I'm gonna go grab her and then get her some food. Good news is that she started walking around, and I think she ate and drank a little bit. So that is good. It does look like one of her wings is messed up, so maybe she did get attacked by one of the guineas or something. They weren't bothering her when I was in there and found her, but her wing is kind of droopy on one side, I guess. Like the flight feathers are sticking out when they're usually tucked underneath. So I'm happy that she started moving around and stuff. She must have just been in shock from whatever happened, because she just stood there in the same place for hours. I had to run around and do a bunch of stuff this morning. It was a very busy day, but it looks more like she was maybe injured instead of sick, which is excellent. She had me really worried there for a while. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick her in there just because it's warmer, it's quiet, and nobody can bother her, and just let her recover for a few days and see how she does. I might have to wrap her wing in something, but we've never dealt with an injured chicken wing before, so I'll have to do a little bit of research and see what I can find out. So you can see she's moving around now, which is good. Here's the side where her wing is the correct way. Do a little turn for me, Greg. Thank you. You see how her wing is not quite right on the other side. So hopefully that is why she's been dazed and confused today. More good news is that my oldest child, I had to go inside and I couldn't stay out here any longer to stake out the chickens to see how they were getting out. My oldest came out and caught one on camera getting out, so I know where they're getting out. And once I get Greg situated, I'm gonna clean up, come check on the baby chicks again, because my youngest is convinced that there's a lot of them dead, but I don't want to go in there after like touching Greg and all the other stuff, and you know, I don't want to cross-contaminate between the two sets of chickens right now, just in case Greg is also sick. But then I can come out and I can address that spot, and hopefully none of the chickens will get out, because while my oldest was in here, there was one of the chickens got out and was like cuddling with the baby chicks. It was in there just laying around eating their food and laying in there by them. It wasn't bothering them, like pecking at them or anything, thank goodness, but that's not something that we want to happen. Definitely more feisty this afternoon than this morning, because she wiggled around quite a bit this time when I picked her up. But Greg has always been kind of more of a chill chicken, so not super flighty. Alright, Greg, we're gonna get you in the infirmary, I guess. Okay, Greg, I'll be back in a little bit with some food for you, and maybe take care of that wing. Now to go clean up and check on the chicks. Sadly, my youngest was correct, and there were more dead. There were 4 dead, and there are 3 that are struggling. So this is very disappointing. I've never had birds, you know, mail order birds do this before. And, you know, it's not cold now. It's in the, I think it's in the 50s already. And warmer than that in the barn. And then they've got their brooder. They should be plenty warm. So I think it maybe has to do with when they were in transit. But I did check the packing slip, and it looks like they substituted a different meat bird. They substituted ginger broilers for Cornish cross, so I have all ginger broilers. and I have no idea how those grow. So I'm gonna have to look those up and see, you know, how many weeks till processing. I'm glad I didn't rent a chicken plucker yet, because it might completely change when we are going to butcher them. But yeah, this is really sad. I mentioned before that some had a black spot on their head. That's one of them. Oh, just ran under. But they're all apparently ginger broilers. They sent me 29 of them. I think I ordered 26 Cornish crosses. But yeah, they're under there. Some of them are coming in and out, and then I got the ones that are pretty lethargic to drink some water, and then stuck them back under the brooder. So I'll probably come out and do that a few times during the day. Hopefully they'll start doing better, perking up. I don't know. I'm not expecting much. Even though I'm not optimistic that those 3 that are struggling are going to bounce back, I am still going to do what I can for them. So I'll come back out, you know, every once in a while, kind of semi-frequently, and make sure they're getting some water and offer them food, and we'll see. But yeah, I don't think it has to do with how warm they are now, because there's a lot of them that are just running around just totally perfectly normal and healthy, like I would expect them to be. Now I'm over in the big chicken stall, and I'll show you where they've been getting out. So up here, this beam that's darker right there, we cut the netting so we could go over it, and either I cut it too far or the chickens split it more. There's a gap there, so I'm going to get up there with some zip ties and just cinch it back together. Hopefully that will keep them all in here permanently. Well, this has been kind of a bummer of a video, but when you have livestock, you have dead stock. That's what they say. So it's just part of the life that we live. Still sad, and at least Greg is just appearing to be injured and not sick. And I think I have finally thwarted the chickens from getting out of that stall. So that's a couple more positive things. Well, thank you for coming along with me on this tragic adventure we had today. And I can't wait to see you in the next video. Bye.